Joining me now as we continue to take a look at some of the action, particularly in crypto. What a great day to have David Siemer on, CEO of Wave Digital Assets. David, a short time ago, we had 73,000 on Bitcoin. I had a friend message me and say, I'm buying Ethereum today. Tom Lee said the people he's speaking to and the technical analysis tells them it's bottoming. What say you?
Yeah, I mean, this is a little bit of a surprise. Crypto follows the tech sector pretty closely with very high beta. So when the stock market's down 2.5%, or the Nasdaq's down, crypto usually is down a lot worse than that. This is no different. A little surprised. I kind of thought 80,000 psychologically was a bit of a floor, and we blew right past that. So I was wrong. As Tom Lee said, I think this is a great buying opportunity. I'm certainly buying more, both Bitcoin and Ethereum at these prices. I think this is a little bit of an unusual dislocation. We Wave manage a lot of crypto assets. We manage some non-crypto assets, and what we're seeing is just a huge rotation among a lot of the biggest hedge funds into commodities and metals, which isn't surprising. That's where the juice is right now. That's where so a lot of dollars are flowing there, and in order to flow dollars there, you have to sell something else. And crypto has been obviously having kind of a rough, really rough last 6 months. So I think that's going to continue a little bit, at least until the metals market stabilizes. The cost of mining gold is still about $1,500. So, $5,000 an ounce gold, I don't think is sustainable for a very long period of time, but it's, there's a lot of momentum right now.
Yes, I want to hear more about what you're buying. You just said you're buying more Bitcoin and Ethereum today?
Today,
week?
Yeah, in the last couple of days. I mean, that's actually all I'm buying right now. I do hold a lot of altcoins, and they're altcoins I like. I think, the bellwethers, which is is really just Bitcoin in our sector, will probably be the place to be from a safety standpoint. I've been I've had Bitcoin since 2010. I've gone through a lot of gyrations. I think this is a pretty decent low point and a great entry point. Nothing to say it can't go a whole lot lower. And everyone's been in the sector for a while has seen a lot worse. This doesn't seem like that major of a correction, quite honestly, yet, though we are down, almost 40% from highs.
And what would you say to the fact that, there's a lot of folks who think Bitcoin's heading way higher, that it has a store of value, it has purpose, it has fundamentals. Every day it's here, the longer it's more trustworthy, the administration's on board. What would you say are the catalysts or reasons to hold Bitcoin? You've been holding it since 2010. You're adding positions today on this pullback when it was above 120,000. Now it's at 75,000 today. What's going to drive Bitcoin? We're not worried about, it's not just a herd mentality. Everybody's getting it, so I'm getting it. That's not why you're getting it.
No, there's some fundamental shifts. The Clarity Act is an enormous deal. I think it's somewhat priced into the market already, but it'll really enable a lot of financial institutions, banks, a lot of huge financial actors to participate more in the ecosystem. I think that'll actually make a meaningful difference. I'm a huge believer that decentralized finance is the future of all finance. In 5 or 10 years, smart contract, financial instruments will be more the norm as opposed to kind of a novelty today. That's kind of the bet on Ethereum and Solana and some of the larger kind of DeFi focused tokens. Yeah. So near term, I think this is a relative bottom. I hope it is, but I also think it is. I'm willing to bet it is. I think, I do think Bitcoin will go back over $100,000 a coin, fairly soon, the next, 3 to 6 months. There are a lot of just, kind of fundamental issues in the world that is why Bitcoin was created in the first place. So quite bullish over the medium term, short term, long term. At these entry prices, I think it's pretty unlikely people are going to get hurt.
We see Ethereum at 2,200, basically 2,209. The high last fall was 4,880. Do we get back to 3,000, 4,000 on Ethereum?
I think we do, but it's going to take a minute. I mean, right now, you had an option specialist on. There's a lot of negative gamma. There's around Ethereum right now. The market was bet very long, I think mostly on this Clarity Act, that the prices were going to go up, and when it went the opposite direction, it's been very painful. There's still a lot to unwind, so I bought a little bit of Ethereum now, but I think it's probably got a little bit more pain to go over these next, say, 1 to 2 weeks. After that, I think it will recover at least back to the, kind of 2,800, 3,000 level pretty quickly. Ethereum is the heart of decentralized finance still in crypto, and RWAs and stablecoins and everything else. I do think it's a great place to play, and long term, we're incredibly bullish.
All right. And also, the other thing that I wanted to ask you about was, do you feel that the administration, you mentioned the Clarity Act, I think that's part of it, but do you think the administration is on board and will continue to support crypto going forward? I mean, you have a midterm election. Is it now for crypto or never?
It's a little bit now or never. I don't think the midterm election will help anything. Who knows? But there's a huge amount of efforts in this administration. Tied obviously a lot of it to Trump's own kind of personal self-interest, of course, to support the industry, support the asset class. The different crypto ventures he's involved with, are probably become the majority of his net worth. So he's very aligned. So I think from that standpoint, yes, there's going to be a lot of pressure to put forth, not just the Clarity Act, other legislation, change the guardrails around a lot of this asset class. That'll all be very, very positive over these next, 8 or 9 months.
All right. Well, it's really great to see you. David Siemer, thank you so much, CEO of Wave Digital Assets.